What is up, everybody? This is Ambulance Boy, and today I'm going to be trying something new. Horror stories with Ambulance Boy. Okay, so, let's get started. So this story is from Reddit. It's a Skype horror story written by JC 1993. Not really sure if this has a place on No Sleep, but I thought it couldn't hurt to post it. It's not the scariest thing in the world, but if anyone could offer me some advice, I'd definitely appreciate it. Yesterday morning, I got back to dorm room around 8:30 a.m. after a trip home for the weekend. As soon as I got my stuff put away, I called my girlfriend on Skype. We talked for a little while, but I was really tired and fell asleep. I woke up a couple hours later when my alarm went off for class around 11:30. I noticed my girlfriend had also fallen asleep with Skype on, but I just left it up, figuring she'd be awake when I got back from my class anyway. I studied for the oral exam I was getting ready to take, and at 12:30, my roommate and I left our dorm room for class. We were finished with our oral exams at 1:05, and we walked back to our dorm room together. While I was in the hallway, not 20 feet from my dorm room, my girlfriend's ringtone started playing, and I noticed I had a couple texts I hadn't read yet. My phone is out of minutes for the month, so I didn't answer her call, but I read the text message from her as my roommate and I walked toward our room. When I read it, I literally froze in the middle of the hallway, and I grabbed my roommate's arm. My girlfriend's text said, "Why won't you answer me? I see you moving." At first I thought it was a joke, or maybe the breeze from the window rustling my blankets, so I made myself start walking again and replied, "Not possible, babe. I'm not even in my room." Her immediate reply was, "Someone is then." At this point, I felt like I was going to throw up. I don't know why the idea that someone was in my room was so terrifying. I do live on campus, and there are several people with keys and the right to come in my room and look around. But something about the situation had me going cold. My heart was racing, and I was still hoping it was a joke, so I sent back, "Definitely not." She responded with, "They looked at me." I was still too scared to open the door to my room, which I'd been standing in front of for a couple minutes, so my roommate took my keys and opened the door. I was hesitant to enter, but of course there was no time in the room. No one in the room. Didn't stop me from turning on all the lights and checked under the beds and in the closets, though. I called my girlfriend back on Skype. She'd hung up when I said I wasn't in the room because it scared her, and I got the rest of the story from her. She said she'd woken up about 15 minutes before and saw that Skype was still on. I had it on my tablet, which was propped up on my desk and facing my bed. She said when she woke up and saw someone she assumed was me, sitting on the bed. My bed is up against a wall, and she said the person was facing the wall, with their head down, like they were reading a book. My girlfriend adjusted herself in her bed, and I guess the blankets made rustling noises, because she said the person on the bed lifted their head up and reacted as if they heard her moving. She said the way they reacted freaked her out, and she shut her eyes and pretended to be asleep. The figure looked back down at their lap. It was several minutes more before my girlfriend said my name, trying to get my attention. There was no immediate reaction, and that's when she sent me the text message. I didn't reply to it, so she called my phone to bring attention to the message. It was right after she called that she said my name much louder, and the person turned around and looked at her. Immediately following this, she ended the call on Skype. Now, although we didn't leave the lights on when we left, the blinds were up in our room, was pretty bright. My girlfriend wears glasses, but her sight isn't so bad. She might have mistaken one of my stuffed animals for a person or something silly like that. And she, of course, has no history of hallucinations or anything of the sort. I was standing outside the door while this exchange occurred, so it's not like someone could have left without me noticing. My initial reaction was still that she was trying to freak me out, but she seemed to be just as scared as I was. Now, I won't lie. My girlfriend and I do frequent no sleep and have a tendency to get overly freaked out by the things we read there. So I guess our overactive imaginations could be playing a role. But there's just something about the situation that seems so real and terrifying. I'm not sure what my next step should be. I suggested leaving Skype on again for my girlfriend to see if the person would show up again, but she vetoed that idea really quick, as she said the thought scared her too much. I regret linking her to No Sleep's story about frightening things that happen on Skype. Honestly, I'm not even sure if there's a need for me to take a next step, as this is the only weird thing that has ever happened to me in my dorm room. But I know how helpful the people who frequent this subreddit are, and thought if there was anything I can or should do, I would find help here. So if you have any advice, I'd really appreciate it. And thanks for taking the time to read this. Update. Something else weird happened in my dorm room, and I don't know if it's connected, but I will put it up for you guys to read if you're interested. You can find it here. You can also read about the other strange Skype experience I had here. Thank you so much, guys, for taking your time to listen to this. Hope it wasn't too boring. I probably enjoyed it more than you guys did. But if you did like horror stories, please leave in the comments below if you want any more, and I will continue it because he says he has some updates. So, this has been Ambulance Boy. Please like and subscribe. And yeah, I will see you guys later.